Hello friends, let's graph these complex numbers on the complex plane. So basically, to graph a complex number, you need to identify the imaginary part and the real part. So this part of the complex number is called the the part with the I, right? The part with the I is called the imaginary part, right? And the part without the I is called the real part. So this other part is called the real part. Real. So so now the real part is usually on the horizontal axis. So I'll put RE real axis, right? The real part. So I'm just gonna put RE axis. And the imaginary, we plot the imaginary part on the y axis, the vertical axis. The vertical axis. So um just gonna write im. So in some places you will see im axis, right? So now basically if you want to graph a complex number, it's kind of like if you want to graph a point, right? So I can basically write this as a point. So I can write this as this kind of like 2 comma 3, right? So it's kind of like if you want to graph a point, so all you have to do is to on the um on the so this the real part, you plot it on the horizontal axis, right? So you have 1 1 2, right? So you have 2, and then the imaginary part, which is 3i, you have the 3 there, right? So you have this one is I, this 2i, this 3i. So all you have to do is you just like you want to plot a point, right? You want to plot something like this. So you just trace these two up. You want to plot 2 plus 3i, right? Just trace it up. And then you have 3i. So just trace it. And this is the point. This point here is 2 plus 3i. That point, right? So that point there denotes, the complex number 2 plus 3. So let's look at this. Let's look at this. So just like I said earlier, this is the imaginary axis, and this is the real axis. So I want to plot -1, -2i. So um, -1 is going to be on the horizontal, right? So let's plot -1. So if I have 1 here, then this is 0, and -1 will be somewhere here, right? Be on the on the left side of you know of the plane, right? So the -2i. So if this up here is I and up here is 2i, so below is going to be -I, -2i, right? So if I want to plug -1, -2i, so all I have to do is to trace it. Just trace -1 down, right? Then trace -2i out, and then that point where they meet, this point here is -1, -2i. Yeah, so that's it. So now I want to plot I over 2. So now somebody is like, how can I plot this? This can be a little bit confusing, right? So the way you can plot this complex number is, so let's first of all write, this is the imaginary part, in, and then this is the real part, right? So let's rewrite this complex number in the form x plus iy, so that way we can uh, distinguish the real part and the imaginary part. So this is the same thing as 0 plus, so I over 2 can be written as 1 over 2i, right? 1 over 2i. So now the 0, this 0 is the real part, right? Is the real part. So 0 is located here, right? At the origin. So then I have 1 over 2i. So if this place is I, so I have this place as I, then this one as 2i, then between 0 and I, then I should have 1 over 2i, right? So actually the so this is 0. So if I want to plot this complex number I plus 0 plus 1 over 2i, which is the same thing as I over 2, is actually this point here. Is this point, because kind of like I have 0, just trace it up to that point. That point. So that's it. That's it. So now I want to plot this complex number 1. So somebody's like, oh, that's a real number. Yes, all real numbers are complex numbers. So I let me explain, right? So if you have I can write this as 1 plus 0i, because we know from previous video, we know that complex number are written in the form x plus iy or yi, where your x and your y, they are real numbers, right? So basically all real numbers, this is a symbol for real numbers. They are what? They are complex number. This is the notation for complex number. They are complex. So to plot this one now, right? To plot this one, basically I can just use let me just draw the complex plane. So locate your real axis. Your real axis is the horizontal axis, and the imaginary axis is the vertical axis, right? So I need to locate where is 1. 1 is, remember the part with the eye is the imaginary axis. The part without the eye is the what? Is the real axis. So where is 1 on the x-axis, on the real axis? So I have 0 here, then 1 is here, right? Now I have 0i. This 0 here is the same thing as 0i, right? So basically this 0 here, because I have, if 0 is the same thing as 0i, because 0 times anything is going to give you back 0. 0 times I will give you 0. So if I want to plot this 1 plus 0i, basically I have the 0 here, then I come to 1. So this is it, right? So this is it. So it's kind of like, you look at this one, this example 3, it's I over 2 is on the vertical line. Then for this example number 4, 1 is on the horizontal um, axis. So that's it. That's how to plot complex numbers. I hope this helps. This example helps. Thank you.